Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso at thewatchbox.com. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Reach out to me directly, tmosso at thewatchbox.com. Today, we are discussing a 12-piece limited edition from 2017, a collaboration between Ressence and Mr. Porter, the online retailer. This watch is known as the Ressence Type 1PM Mr. Porter. 12 pieces in grade 5 titanium, 42 millimeters in diameter. The watch is 11.8 millimeters thick. From lug to lug, 48 millimeters. They are spare lugs, and then the sizing of the strap is 20 millimeters. Throwing it on my wrist, 16 centimeters in circumference, you can see it wears quite spare. The lugs are barely there. From over the top, you can see there's no overlap. It's low enough to fit underneath the cuff, so it can be your dress watch. And principally composed of sapphire, titanium, and a leather strap, it wears light, comfortable, almost like a second skin. I can recommend it for a wrist as small as 13.5 centimeters circumference. Now, taking a look at the strap, you can see it is a bonded design. So it is absolutely seamless on the top, a sort of shell cordovan, and then on the bottom, you can see it's a more natural style calfskin. Now, turning to the buckle, it's an interesting counterweighted piece. It's sort of like a clevis buckle, and then you can see there's a little recess for the pin inside the buckle and a miniature version of the Ressence hand logo. Of course, this is all grade 5 titanium as well. Grade 5 is nice because it's light the way titanium is, but it's also scratch resistant to a degree higher than standard steel, so it's nice to have them both in tandem. You can see that Ressence is all about minimalism, and the weld of the lugs to the case is seamless and spare. It's all of high polish, and then the bezel has a wonderful domed camber to it. This is not one of the oil-filled dials. Those are considerably more expensive and considerably more involved technically. This one includes a regulator dial that also operates in planetary fashion. So you set the watch, there is no crown, you set the watch, and if you wish, you wind it using the case back. So right now, for example, you are looking at 6 on the nose, because it's a regulator, you have separate seconds, minutes, and hours. I'm looking at 6 on the nose in the afternoon, or the evening, I should say, of Friday, because this day of the week indicator moves clockwise. The solid arcs represent the weekdays, the cyan blue hollow arcs represent the weekends. So you can see this is 6. And then this little index is in the second half of that last solid arc, so that is Friday evening. Now the timepiece is beautifully loomed, and you will see that, but the standout feature of the dial is principally the way it moves, which is incredibly innovative, unusual, and I have to say, probably a horological first in an industry that is fairly miserly with firsts. Almost everything's been done, but not this. There's a lovely satin brushed blue tone that contrasts nicely with the metal of the registers, and then when you turn it over, you can see it has a sort of mass dimple effect outboard of a center, paying tribute to Ressence, the manufacturer, and Mr. Porter, the retailer. Now, you will note that you can, if you wish, wind this watch using the case back. There's a friction zone that you'll feel as you move the case back along. Once you find it, you just rub back and forth over that friction zone. Otherwise, you just use the case back to set the watch, because it is automatic winding, and it features an ETA 28242, bidirectional winding with a 36-hour power reserve, beats away at 28,800 vibrations per hour, and then it's actually bound to a Ressence orbital convex system, which is a movement in its own right with 15 joules and over 100 parts. So it's ETA on the bottom, it's Ressence on the top, and there's a lot of proprietary watchmaking that goes into that. So I consider this movement to be largely manufactured, in as much as most of the added value comes from Ressence's movement atop a movement. One thing it is not, however, is water resistant, as with 1 ATM water resistance, you're going to consider this rain and occasional splashes only. I would not submerge it. That's why you have a Type 5. If you love this watch, email tmosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details. And we are back with the Ressence Type 1 Mr. Porter by night, where it is, well, just as intriguing.